Schooling is just a tiny little part of that, a very tiny part.
Yeah.
I tell moms, I said, you can really just fail at schooling and you're not going to ruin your child.
We recently did an online conference. It was the Homegrown Generation Family Expo, which, by the way, if you guys missed that, you can still access that entire conference as well as the 2020 conference. And you can check that out at homegrowngeneration.com. But since that conference, we have so many new listeners, and a lot of our new listeners are new homeschoolers or those who are just thinking about homeschooling. And they're not exactly sure what this homeschooling thing is supposed to look like. And it can be so stressful.
Hmm.
And so, as we're at the end of one school year and looking into the next school year, I really want to help these moms through the summer to take the stress out of homeschooling as much as possible. And so my first question to you that I want to talk about is talk about the difference between school versus education, because that is definitely always kind of on the forefront of our minds is how are we going to educate our kids? What is school supposed to look like? So talk to us about the difference between school and education.
Well, so I think that as homeschool moms, one of the things we're so stressed about and so fearful of is we think that schooling and education are the same thing. That that everything we do in our curriculum and in our homeschool day is going to determine, the success of our children. And so we have a really skewed and uninformed view of what it actually means to educate a child, which education is a lifelong process. Education is
Mm.
something that happens, it occurs, causes a well-rounded child, but it happens throughout the life of the child. And it includes things like emotional intelligence and creativity and problem solving and the values that we learn through life, the character that is formed through life experiences. And so all of those things, which really have a lot more to do with how well we're going to do as adults, those are the bigger orbed picture of what it means to be to be educated. Schooling is just a tiny little part of that, a very tiny part.
Yeah.
I tell moms, I said, you can really just fail at schooling and you're not going to ruin your child because there's
Uh,
so much more that makes up. And so if we could remember the definition or understand that schooling is just a small part of what it
yeah.
means to be educated, it takes the pressure off of us. So
Mm.
because we've flipped it and made schooling all there is, made schooling the major part, whereas it's really just a very minor part.
Yeah. Yeah. By schooling, you're talking about academics specifically, because that's what we tend to really put all of our focus on. And we kind of put all of our eggs in that basket, that homeschool basket
Right.
of, education being academics. And we sometimes forget that it's so much more than just the academics. Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.